This is the Game Changers Experience. Deep dive conversations with leading business disruptors, Olympic athletes, celebrities, entrepreneurs, and influencers from around the world. This show will teach you insights about the winning principles in mindset, productivity, marketing, branding, entrepreneurship, business strategy, and more. Hosted by Productivity Authority, business strategist, former elite athlete, author, and public speaker, Adam Strong.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business Accelerator with myself, Adam Strong. For you guys that are listening in live, use the hashtag live, use the hashtag replay. You can do that here. And if you're listening to here on the podcast, I'm going to put all the show description notes below and any links that you need as well. So today's episode is a little bit about how to pitch to angel investors. So depending on when you're listening to this, of course, I had a recent... some of you guys know I was in the final of a big pitching competition in London. And so I wanted to really kind of take this opportunity, number one, share my experience, right? So if you guys are looking to raise investment, if you're looking to, just to get some feedback and mentorship or whatever it might be, it's just a great experience. I found it a really great experience in really kind of learning the ropes, but also, being able to articulate it, your pitch in a particular way so that you can make improvements to it further on down the line. So yesterday, again, depending on when you're listening to this, I got into like the last 20 of 500, which is, for me is a great achievement. Okay. So, and there were some like strong pitches in there, but I wanted to share with you guys about really kind of like my more about my experience, about what I feel would really help you guys if you're looking to raise investment for your idea or your business or etc. So the first thing that I would give you, like one of the very, very first tips that I would give you guys is don't be so cut up in terms of like the actual words. So one of the things that I learned from yesterday's experience is that everyone had like their speeches written out, they had all of this like words blurb, everyone don't feel like you have to like cram in as much information as you can. So literally we had 90 seconds. So 90 seconds is like hardly any time at all. And one thing that I learned is that, entrepreneurs and people like yourself, like you just want to cram in everything. But the problem with that is, it's all about the outcome, right? So the outcome of especially in a first pitch, okay, is it for it to come across in a particular way that it builds some sort of connection, it builds interest, it builds conversation, if that makes sense. And so one of the things that I did with my pitch architecture is I structured it in a number of different ways. So that, number one, I wouldn't be lost for words. When I don't know if you guys have done this, but when you get up on top of the stage and you're presenting in front of people, I think I had about 40 or 50 people in the audience or whatever it might be. Been a public speaker, I don't mind it so much, but with a lot of people that don't have the experience, that don't have the confidence, I always find that a particular structure will really help you. So the first thing, I always start off my pitches with giving someone an interesting fact. So I started off by sharing an interesting fact. I was pitching for my other business, which is all in the ocean plastic space. So what I was talking a lot about is I was talking about some interesting facts about ocean plastic. The second part is in a succinct, like really small paragraph, like what does your business specialize in? Like if we was to like use a really small summary, what does your business do? Or what does your idea do? And again, less is more. I always use that. I'm a big believer in that. Keeping less is more, getting straight to the point. Investors in particular have probably been pitched 1 million times and they're looking for something which hits the mark. Does that make sense? So second point really is making sure that you've got that kind of what I call summary in that. The third point is obviously your credibility. This is so important because a lot of the people that you pitch to or investors, even they're strange, they're not going to know who you are. So it's always good to give people a bit of a backstory why you positioned the way you are, what gives you the authority to pitch the way you do, and why you? Why should they? Because effectively they're investing in you, not just your business and your idea. They invest in you first. So I think it's extremely important. So especially in terms of the credibility. And, you know, angel investors in particular love to invest in teams rather than individuals. So if you are, if you've got a business or an idea, share, it's we. What's it? Who's in the team? Like I shared yesterday, we've got a number of engineers and strategic advisors. They really appreciated that, right? They didn't think it was just me type of thing, and me and my little kind of big idea, right? The next part of what I call the perfect pitch really is talking a little bit about the problem. And again, what's really important, especially if you've only got like sort of 90 seconds, couple of minutes or whatever it is not to go too deep on the problem, but enough to sort of make it alarming enough where, okay, I get it, right? It's a huge problem, right? So in our case, right, it's a huge global problem. So I wanted to really kind of get that, really drill that down. Really, really super important. Then the next section is the solution. So what is the solution that you have? Like, do you have is there a prototype? Is it a product that you want to create? Is it an app? Is it a piece of tech? Like, what is the solution? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How does it work? And with regards to if you've taken any pre-revenue, so if you've taken any revenue, any profitability, what was your, the last sort of, if you've been trading, what sort of revenue, what sort of profit margins? Knowing your numbers is extremely important, especially if you've already done some pre-revenue or you've done some testing. What did you discover during that testing? What did you discover during that period of time? For example, if you have a website, right, and you've been taking revenue, like what's the website traffic? What's the conversions? Where's the website traffic? Like literally, these are the types of questions that these guys are going to ask you, right? If you haven't not prepared yourself for these types of questions, I can guarantee you they will come up one way or another. Even if, by the way, during the Q&A session at the end of the pitch. And then the last section is, what is your call to action? This is where a lot of people that pitch their businesses or ideas, they forget to ask, what is it? What's the reasons why they're pitching today? What's the reasons why they're standing on stage presenting their business or idea? Like, what is it that you want? Do you want money? Do you want mentorship? Do you want accessibility? Like, what do you want in a succinct, like in really simple terms? Like, what do you want? I always found that that's extremely important. Now, I went up against numerous pitches yesterday, and I think there were about 10 different businesses. So there were 10 different businesses and whatever it is. Some of them were in the food and beverage industry, some were in the tech space, some was in fashion or whatever it might be. But with regards to the fundamentals don't change in terms of the pitch architecture. Does that make sense? So I think what's really important here is even like those pitches were really strong. Like we were pitching for some money to fund a prototype. That's what we were doing, right? And we literally had so much great feedback at the end of the pitch, and it was phenomenal because even though we didn't win, right? I didn't expect to win. The response was really good. And obviously the great thing as well with regards to our pitching and our business is that no one else was doing it, which was really, really cool. So the other thing that I experienced as well, and something that came up, and I was talking to one of the investors at the end who loved the idea about what we were doing, is to preempt objections, right? So if you're preempting objections, so objections that might potentially come up, so it could be, as an example, I just randomly put something out there, is to randomly think like, what are the objections to why they wouldn't invest? Right. And again, if you bring that up and you show your cards out and you include that as part of your pitch, again, it helps with the preparation, if that makes sense. So I hope this is kind of giving you guys some ideas about how you could effectively pitch your business in a succinct and in a succinct manner. But confidence is really, really crucial, because the more confident that you come across, the easier it is to get your words out in a succinct and easy manner. So, in summary, with regards to my experience in pitching to angel investors, number one is making sure that you've got some sort of like, did you know at the beginning? Like an interesting fact, something that's going to create curiosity, right? Something's going to hook people in. Secondly, a summary of your business, like clarity, succinct, easy, nice and easy. That's the second one. Third one is your credibility. Like, what is your credibility? What is the positioning of you? Why you? Type of thing, right? So that people want to know. And if you've got a team, like, what does the team look like? Super important. Number four, problem. Like, what is the big problem you're trying to solve? Super, super important is understanding what is the real pain point for your clients and customers. Number five, your solution. What is the solution? Is it an app? Is it a piece of software? Is it fashion? Is it food and drink? Like, what is the solution? What is it? How does it differ from your competition? As part of that, knowing your numbers. So preempting, know your numbers. Super, super, super important. And the last thing, which is probably, if we was to put the cherry on the top, is the call to action. Like, what is the reason why you're staying on the stage? Why are you pitching to angel investors? What is it that you are looking for? Are you looking for mentorship, money, whatever it is? How much, and what is it going to be used for? Type of thing. So I hope this kind of gives you some context about my pitching experience that I had recently, and hope that's given you some ideas about if you were to pitch your idea or your business to angel investors, you can use this particular track. If you listen to this on the podcast, you can rewind that and articulate that in a particular way. I want to give a big shout out to my good friend Stefan Tonen as well. Thanks very much. And Stefan says, great learnings, Adam. Pitching is difficult and asking for feedback will help always. Absolutely. 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. Feedback is crucial, because the more feedback that you get, the more that you can articulate your pitch in a way and make improvements along the way, right? And thanks very much to you, Susan. Really appreciate that as well. Depends on the angels. I guess it does depend on the angels who they are as well. One of the things that I actually mentioned in a previous show a couple of days ago, actually, is to do some preempted preparation. Like, who are the angel investors? Like the angel investors, we only had a couple last night, but one of them had an MBE, who was which is a special award from the Queen, and for his services to entrepreneurial services and things like that. But he'd done like multiple exits. He actually showed me at the end of the pitch. He was like, I write down ideas on a daily basis of things that I could start up with. And he goes, your idea was on my list. So and I was only speaking about it today. So we had automatically, we had this like connection, and he knew exactly what it is. So, yeah, but listen, it's all good. I appreciate it. Just want to say thanks very much. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much to you, Susan. I really appreciate you as well. And Eric Swanson, rock and roll, my friend. We need to catch up, definitely. Listen, I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's Business Accelerator. If you listen to the podcast, make sure you check all the the notes below. And make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Click on the bell notification, and I will see you back on here again. Take care. We'll see you soon. Cheers. Have a great day. Bye-bye.